What's up everyone, Brian Phobos here. Today we're going to talk about three main reasons why this cryptocurrency market is total madness, but it's not going to matter. This is going to continue and you're going to get bitty rich in 2018. Tell yourself that. You're going to get bitty rich. So let's take a look at this. I would say the number one reason is Bitcoin does not work as well as it did in 2018, but it's not working as well as it did in 2013. So you're talking 5 years and you've got this thing that does not work as well. Imagine if you had a cell phone that did not work as well now as the one you had in 2013. You'd be pretty pissed off, and especially if suddenly the cell phone cost, 15 times as much as it did at the peak of 2013. The peak being around $1,100 to $1,200 thereabouts, and then we've got this $15,000 asset that does not work as well as it did in 2013. We all know about the fees. I paid a $59 fee the other day to send Bitcoin. I was so mad. I was so mad. So moving on from that. So that doesn't make any sense, but I still see this thing going up. And you're going to see like why this whole thing is going to continue as we go on into this video, but I see this continuing to go up. It's got that brand recognition. It has the first mover's advantage. A lot of the people who are in the stock market, option market world, all they know about is Bitcoin. They haven't heard about all this other stuff. So all they know is I want to buy Bitcoin. So moving on, the second thing would be that crypto companies are valued, like they're valued higher than companies that sell tangible products all over the world. So we look at Ripple, and I'm invested in Ripple. Just to let you guys know, I'm invested in all these top 9. I have an investment in all of them. Now some is smaller investment than others, but I have an investment in all of them for various reasons. Now with Ripple, I held my nose. It was like taking cough syrup. I did not want to buy it, and I just knew that this was going to happen. I just knew it was going to go up because of all these people flooding in, and they look at these, let's say the top 4 assets, Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and how expensive these others are to buy, and then somebody's like, oh, this is cheap, and then so they just buy it, and they don't understand anything about that it's centralized and it doesn't make any sense. And $147 billion market cap. Now let's look at General Motors, who sells cars all over the world, has tangible assets, has factories, facilities, has been around since 1908. $60 billion market cap. $60 billion compared to Ripple's $147 billion. I mean, I guess it was lower on that thing. $147 billion market cap. That's insane. I mean, Ripple has like basically 100 clients. There's 75 clients that have it in production. They're using this in production, that have, deployed it commercially. But, and that's good. That's cool. I mean, that's awesome that you partnered with these different banks and you're doing some movement of money and, you're utilizing this. But it's just hard for me to believe that, it's worth this much. I mean, to me, that's just like way overvalued. And to tell you the truth, this cryptocurrency is decoupled from what that company is worth. Buying one Ripple, like XRP, is not equivalent to being a shareholder in Ripple. It's totally decoupled. So this doesn't make any sense, but have I sold any of my Ripple? No, I haven't, because people are just going to keep buying it. I just think people are just going to keep shoving this up. I can easily see it going to 5. I mean, I'll probably wake up tomorrow and it'll be at 5. So I bit the bullet and I bought that. Let's say that General Motors isn't a good example. Let's say that some of these tech companies with mobile apps, that they make a lot more sense. But even if you look at these non-profitable apps that are never going to be profitable, I've been saying since 2012 to 2013 that Twitter would never be profitable, and that has played true. You don't see any price to earnings ratio here because there are no earnings and there never will be. It's just a perennial loser, and people fight over these little pops and drops and these little mini waves. But really, when it boils down to it, they're not going to find a path to profitability. And the people who really made the money were the founders and the early venture capitalists, early investors. And then it hits the market, and then it's just a bunch of bag holders like wrestling over it. So one of the reasons I'm not in the stock market anymore is that the stuff moves too slow and you're not able to get in on the ground floor like you are with cryptocurrencies. Let's look at Snapchat. I don't like Snapchat from an investment perspective. And personally, if I had to pick something like Snapchat over Instagram from a functionality standpoint, I like Instagram better. But market cap, 18.44 billion. Of course, no price to earnings ratio because there are no earnings and there never will be. They're not going to be able to make this profitable, but it's not going to stop people from trying to, fight around and maybe try to catch some little mini ride or something. So, and you see in the stock market, like this is huge movement, 2.41% in a day, but we see in crypto, like 43% movement. And keep in mind, Ripple has went up over 36,000% in 2017. That's absurd. That is absurd. And it's, you know what? If it's went up 36,000%, what's another 15,000%? That's nothing. Just keep going. So totally ludicrous. But anyway, like moving on, the third reason is that unfinished products are more valuable in the crypto market than finished products. So let me explain that. So anything that has, let's say that's in a test net scenario, or maybe it's just a white paper, suddenly those become more valuable than stuff that is actually working. So, and again, I hold Cardano, I hold EOS, but both of those are test nets. So in my mind, why wouldn't Monero, which, is a finished product, it's on a main net, it's been functioning since 2014, why wouldn't Monero be perceived to be more valuable than Cardano and EOS? And I understand that that's a little hard to compare those because Cardano and EOS are going to be, more like Ethereum, and then it's going to be a platform that you can have other decentralized applications on top of it. So you could say functionality is, the functionality is going to be way greater for Cardano and EOS than what Monero is, because Monero is essentially just a digital currency. It's just digital cash that's anonymous. It does one function and it does it well. So, but let's look at another example of this, and we can see Tron, 9.7 billion market cap. Now, does Tron have, what is Tron? I did a video on this. Some people didn't like it. Some people are like, yeah, you make perfect sense when you say this. It doesn't make any sense that this is valued so high. But Tron is an ERC20 token, and it basically has a white paper that describes what Steam already is, what the Steam blockchain is. And if you watch my other video, I go into that in more depth, but they don't have any test net. They don't have a mobile app. They don't have anything. Their main thing is that, they got this Justin Sun guy who's supposed to be Jack Ma's protege, and he has an Ivy League degree, woohoo, and I'm sure he's a smart kid. I'm not trying to talk smack, and he has nothing to do with the valuation. I mean, it's other people buying up this stuff. So he can't be necessarily blamed for the hype. But you got a young guy, you got, some other guys that are working on the development team and everything. But really when it boils down to it, and yes, I know they've signed some different partnerships, this and that, but really when it boils down to it, is this worth this white paper that describes what Steam already is, even if you compare it to Steam? Is it, it's up here in the 10th spot, and something that's already been functioning for a year and a half, and is what Tron is describing is in 27th spot and is $1.8 billion market cap. That in itself doesn't make sense. This is a finished product. There's people live streaming on the Steam blockchain. There's, instant feeless transactions that are happening on the Steam blockchain. There's people earning money on the Steam blockchain. We've been here. I've been here since, July 2016. I understand this ecosystem very well. And Tron is, all it's doing is describing that. So why would Tron be worth more than Steam? But not just that, $10 billion market cap. Well, at least with Twitter and with Snapchat, they actually have functioning apps with large user bases on them. So Tron is worth it's worth 10 billion, and then Twitter's worth 18 billion, and it's been around since 2006, been around for over 10 years, and it's worth 18 billion. So still is worth more than Tron, but Tron doesn't have anything. Snapchat, again, 18 billion, obviously has a large user base, but has been around since 2010. So you've got this thing that has popped out of nowhere. I mean, literally, look at the trading started on September 13th of 2017. I mean, that hasn't really been around that long, and then it's worth 10 billion. So that's just kooky. And I'm not saying that Tron isn't going to go to 30 cents or it's not going to go to $1. It could very well go there. And I'm going to get more into that a little bit later on of why it might. So, but that's the main third thing, that the unfinished projects are valued more than finished projects. You'll see this happen with some of these other ERC20 tokens as well, but we'll move on. So here's the thing I showed in one of my other videos, that basically companies that are in the stock market, now they're adding blockchain to their name, or they're talking about blockchain, just because people don't know how to get involved in cryptocurrencies, people that are in stock and option markets. And so they're just rushing and buying up these companies that say anything about blockchain. It's actually absurd. So what Hooters was going to do is do some kind of loyalty program with some kind of token, some digital token that would be some blockchain based thing. And just by mentioning that, their stock went up 50%. You know, and that kind of move in the stock market is insane. So there was a cryptocurrency company that literally shot up like thousands of percent in a week, just because they said that they were involved with cryptocurrency mining and all this other stuff. So just the FOMO is happening over in the stock market, and those people don't know how to really get involved in the crypto market, but eventually it will spill over. The ones that figured out and are able to, you know, get over to the crypto markets, that money is spilling in. There's no doubt about that. So I mentioned this before, but, you know, and Tai has kept it up, that a large majority of his videos are cryptocurrency related at this point. Now, Tai is very polarizing. A lot of people don't like Tai. I'm very neutral on Tai. And the reason is because I think that Tai just saw, kind of like in the same premise, that I don't really like Ripple, but is Ripple killing anybody? Like, if I'm investing in this, is it going to kill somebody? If, you know, are they really that bad of a company or something? It's not. I don't, you know, who's it hurting that I bought in Ripple? I invested in Ripple. You know, it's not like they're hitmen or something like that. You know, it's like, yeah, do I really believe in Ripple compared to like other cryptocurrencies? No, not really. This one doesn't fit in. It's too centralized, yada, yada, yada. I bought it because I saw that the price was going to continue to go up, and I held my nose, and it was like swallowing my pride, you know, but I went ahead and did it. And I think that that's kind of like what Tai has done. He knows that if he kind of takes stuff down to a base level, doesn't really get super in depth about things, that he can gain a large following. So I think that he just kind of put everything together and was like, you know what, this is what builds a large following. So he does that. Is Tai probably a cool guy to hang out with? Yeah, probably. You know, but really when it boils down to it, a lot of his stuff has turned into cryptocurrency related, you know, cryptocurrency related videos. And if you go back, it really wasn't that long ago, like not even a month ago, he wasn't talking about any kind of cryptocurrency related stuff. You know, so it's really just kind of go back, you know, 2-3 weeks, and then everything turns into Bitcoin. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin here. You know, cryptocurrencies. You know, and then you go forward up into here. Bitcoin bounces back 40% after a huge crash. So as he keeps talking about this, and we all know that being on Coinbase, you're not going to, when you set up an account, you're not instantly going to get access a lot of times to your funds. So it's going to take a little bit. And then even when somebody mentions something once, let's say someone's following Tai, and then he starts talking about cryptocurrencies, a person isn't going to automatically be like, okay, well, I heard it once from Tai, and so now I'm going to buy into it. They're going to need multiple exposures from different angles. And that's why it's like everybody's talking about it. This is Philip DeFranco. He's been around on YouTube since, 06, 07 time frame, 5.8 million subscribers. A lot of people know who Philip DeFranco is. He usually talks about YouTube gossip and other random stuff out in just kind of popular culture. And then 2 weeks ago, and I saw this like kind of on the side of YouTube when I was like looking at some other video, and he was talking about the Coinbase situation with Bitcoin Cash. And I'm like, what? Philip DeFranco's talking about Bitcoin Cash and Coinbase? I was just like, this is crazy. Like everybody's talking about this. Then another thing. So JR Garage, he's kind of a younger kid, maybe like 18 or so years old. And he has a car channel, and I think that his parents are probably rich or whatever, and he has like all these cars, and he has a brother that's on the channel too, and their whole channel is cars. But they started up another channel that's JR Business, and they talk about entrepreneurship and stuff like that. But look at these, look at these new videos that he's coming out with. Cardano moonshot to $5, 100 million coins. He's talking about how he bought 100 million of this cryptocurrency coin. Like, he bought all these coins. He's talking about GDAX and Coinbase here. He's talking about Verge, Cardano, Ripple, Tron. And think about like this channel has 107,000 subscribers, and he's probably cross promoting it, having people come on over to JR Business. And just think of like a little pipsqueak who's like watching JR Business and is like, I want to buy Tron, Mom. I want to buy Tron. I want to buy Ripple. So whether someone like this knows what they're talking about or not, or whether Tai Lopez knows what he's talking about, or Philip DeFranco knows what he's talking about, it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that everybody's talking about it is just another exposure to this. So then we go, let's think of like, let's say the older demographic who's maybe in the stock and option market. They get the Wall Street Journal. You go to wallstreetjournal.com, and what's some of the first things you see? It's like, Bitcoin, a commodity, not a currency. Thiel's fund makes monster bet on Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, a year like no other. You start seeing all this Bitcoin-related stuff. It's like my parents were saying, anytime they turn on Bloomberg, anytime they turn on Fox Business News, CNBC, Bitcoin is it's on there all the time. They're always talking about Bitcoin. Like, it's like every day they're talking about it. So people are getting these exposures more and more and more. But Peter Thiel, one of the original founders of PayPal, and he's made a huge bet on Bitcoin. I guess his hedge fund bought up a ton of Bitcoin, at one point. So people start to see this and think, oh, Peter Thiel, he's a respected businessman. He's buying Bitcoin. Maybe I should buy Bitcoin. So you're going to have this continue to happen. And as more and more and more, the roar gets louder and more people are talking about it constantly, then even if somebody doesn't take action in the first 2 weeks or the first month, and they keep looking at the different prices and it keeps going up, they're just like, okay, finally, I need to get in on this. Somehow, some way, I need to get in on this. It basically just grabs a person and compels them to get involved. And so that's why I don't think that this is over. And a lot of this stuff, you can throw logic out the window. I mean, you can somewhat make logical arguments for some of this stuff that's in here, some of these things that are happening. But then other stuff doesn't really make sense, but in some respects, it doesn't matter, is what I'm trying to say. Like, could Tron go to $1? Yeah, it could. If people keep buying it, if more people are buying it than are selling it, then it could go to $1. This could be worth 100. It could be $100 billion white paper. The first $100 billion white paper in history. It's just so people people might think I'm talking smack about different coins or whatever, but really when it boils down to it, some of these I've basically taken a position because I knew I could see the surge that was going on. For instance, Verge. I wasn't real hot on Verge, but I bought into Verge basically because I saw the buzz around Verge, and then I basically sold out of the majority of my holdings, and I still have like 500 Verge. Just in case, you know, it keeps running or it runs away some more, and then I would still have that little position there. And that's the main play that I do with a lot of stuff, is that buying a big position, catch a ride, and then take everything off, but leave some icing there in case it continues to run. But if it fails, like if, let's say it loses its luster and it falls to the second, third, fourth, fifth page of CoinMarketCap, I'm not really out anything. It was just kind of there in case it ran away some more. But basically, guys, 2018 is the year that you're going to get bitty rich. Everybody's talking about cryptocurrencies. People can't stop thinking about it. People are addicted to this. These numbers don't make any sense, but it doesn't matter. These people are just going to keep throwing money at it. And these market caps, that's going to get to $1 billion pretty quick. I'm just conservatively saying that it would get there by the end of March, but honestly, I could wake up 2 nights from now or something like that, and this will be, you know, this will be up to $1 trillion or something. But I could see this whole surge easily going to $2 trillion. But anyway, guys, follow me on all social media. Please like the video and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, Twitter, Instagram, Steemit, YouTube. See you guys later.